guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time seeing my face. My name is Aisha, and this is another episode of Tea Time with Aisha. I want to say thank you guys so much for the love that we've gotten so far and the positive response that we've been receiving on our episodes. It's been a very enjoyable process for me, so I'm glad to see that you guys are enjoying it as well. You guys know when it comes to bringing on guests, I feel like I have a thing, I have a thing for it. Like, I be getting it right. Like, the people that I bring on, they always make sense. They have good conversations, good lessons to share with you guys. And today's episode, obviously, it's nothing different. Today's episode is actually very special to me because I have my family, my uncle here, and, he's somebody that I look up to. I find him so inspiring, and it's like, it would be so stupid not to have him on here to share the gems that he shares with us, with you guys. So without further ado, let me introduce you guys to my uncle. I don't even know how to address you here. Do I say for sure what?
Thank you for having me. This is really nice.
Thank you.
I appreciate the fact that you thought highly of me.
I always
to
think highly
invite
of you.
me to this. So
Yeah.
I look forward to sharing whatever I can share.
No. I always say this, like, literally, like, okay, this is my aunt's husband, but he's my uncle, okay? Like, that's my uncle. And it's so weird because, like, I feel like in other families, that in-law thing is really, like, a thing. But I think that in our family, I don't even see you as, like, an in-law.
As, like, family.
You're my
Like,
uncle.
yeah,
Like, what?
exactly.
Like, you're literally my uncle. And it's been so amazing because, obviously, I met you when I was so young.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time. Like, you've seen me through all my faces. It's crazy. But I met you when I was so young, and, like, I think you've just always been that person in our family, or one of those people in our family that we look at and, like, wow, like, he's just doing it. It makes it look so easy. So
Thank you.
before we get to, like, touchy mushy and stuff like that, tell us what you do.
Okay, well, so I'm an IT project manager by trade, but at the heart of it all, I want to own my business and run my business and have my own independence.
Yeah.
Because growing up, I've always seen that, people that have their own businesses, they succeed more.
Yeah.
They have more freedom. They have more time.
Yeah.
And of course, they enjoy the good life,
Exactly.
more money.
That's you guys' mantra. Enjoy, chop life. Yeah.
So that's one of the things that's always attracted me to it.
Yeah.
How I became an IT project manager, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
I guess that's the whole scenario of how you pivot and get to the career that
exactly.
you are today.
Exactly. So as you guys can see, this is why he's on here, because the guy got gems for you. Got gems for you. So before we get too deep into the episode, we got to do our tea. You know what we're talking about today. You know who we have. So go ahead, get your tea,
Okay.
get your
So what do I
dates,
do?
get your snacks. We're gonna cheers.
Okay.
This is ginger tea. Yeah, it's another type of ginger tea. So we'll just do a cute little cheers.
Okay.
And tell me what you think, even though it's like the same.
I mean,
It's
the ginger is the one that hits.
Yeah.
The ginger is the one that hits the best.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, ginger tea will always do it. It will always do it for me every single time. Okay, so I actually wanted to start this discussion off with, like, early life. So you have two siblings,
Yep.
and you are the oldest.
Oldest.
The oldest guy in the Yoruba household. What kind of pressure came with that for you?
So I won't really call it pressure.
Okay.
Growing up, I guess I just discovered that, this is the firstborn.
Yeah.
Your juniors, your junior brother, your sister.
Yeah.
And then growing up is like they over and over again they keep emphasizing or teaching you that you got to take care of them.
Yeah.
You got to be the big brother. And the big thing is anything that you're doing that is bad, your juniors are watching you. So that kind of helped me develop my mindset, my brain mentally. And then, even as I grew up, that kind of, made me just step into that role.
Right.
So I won't say it was pressure.
It was
I would
just
say
a
it's
natural
more like,
thing.
yeah,
It was innate.
natural thing. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And would you say, like, with growing up, you had a good, because you only have one sister and one brother, right?
Yeah.
So it's like a very small, tight, like, knit family, and then, like, entering into a family that's so big. Our family's, like, really big.
Right.
Was that ever overwhelming for you? And when you were growing up, did you ever feel like, oh, you wish you had a bigger one, or, like, or you're content with what you have?
Wow, okay. So there's different parts to that story because we're three of us currently, but unfortunately we lost two.
Oh, wow. I didn't
So
know that.
yeah, exactly. So with that, we kind of always, even with the three of us, and with my dad and my mom, we've always thought about ourselves as not too small, you know?
Just enough for each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, our relationship growing up, even though I was that kind of put an age gap between us two.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I was a little more my brother to me, I was 5 years older than him. But over time, we kind of developed like senior brother relationship, growing up. And then I had to move to the United States when I was 18 or something like that. So
wait, you were born in Nigeria?
No, I was born.
Okay, I was
I was born here.
Okay.
My parents took me back. I spent my whole years there.
Wow.
And when it was time for college, they said, okay, you're going to go back and stay with your aunt. Yeah. So that's how I got back here.
I didn't, like, I'm learning so many things now. Like, you know, like, I'm like, I've known you my whole life. I didn't know these things. Okay, so now I have like a whole nother set of questions that I want to ask you. Okay, living in Nigeria, and this was so long ago, obviously, don't need to put your age out there.
No. I'm young at heart.
Yes,
put it that way.
But living in Nigeria and then making that pivot to like that change in scenery and everything to America, what was that like for you?
It was exciting.
Yeah?
And those are the good times.
Because you came in uni, like when you went to uni or what?
Yeah, when I finished my high school, that's when I came back here.
Yeah.
So, you know, growing up in Nigeria, it's always been a thing. Like, even in high school, we could kind of sense it, like, you know, there's got to be better out here. And we've seen other people in our school that, they relocated abroad.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that must be so good. So
Right.
when the opportunity came for
for
me
you guys,
that I was going to be studying abroad, all I needed to do was finish my high school. I was like, okay, that would be
out.
good.
Yeah.
So it was bittersweet.
Okay.
I left my parents, I left my
Okay.
brother, my sister.
Okay.
But more of it was the joy, you know, of, you know, starting
New
like,
chapter.
this is the beginning of my life, really.
Right.
I'm about to set out on a whole new adventure.
Oh my
So that was,
God.
yeah.
Yeah, I always say this to like my siblings, like our parents coming to America kind of like on their own and starting afresh without having any real connections here, you know, like your home base is, you know, back home and starting afresh is so brave. Like it's actually very, very brave. Like you're paving the way for a whole new generation. Like that's us. So that's actually very interesting because I obviously didn't know that before. So now you've come to America. You studied what in uni?
Okay, and first I first of all started with my 2-year degree program.
Okay.
When I came, initially I had my heart that I was going to be a doctor.
Okay. Are you serious?
Yes.
Wait, is
when
that
I
how you
came,
guys
I
connected?
had- No, well, that's separate.
Okay.
But, you know, I had on my heart that I was going to be a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor. That's what I thought I could be good at.
Wow.
But when I came here and I heard that it's going to take a long time to be a doctor, etc., I was like, the next best thing to probably do is maybe computer science.
Yeah.
Because my dad did very well in computer science.
Yeah.
He went to he got a scholarship, you know, came to the United States to study on computer science.
Wow.
And computer science, there was a lot of projections like computer science is going to be good for America. I was like, okay, sure,
Exactly.
I'll do it. But my first programming class, it kicked my behind. And I was like, oh no, this is not what I signed up for. Yeah, this is a lot, you know.
Yeah.
So eventually I started pivoting. I was like, let me try and I started doing some research. They said, well, there's the computer information systems part where you can come in and do business and computers. I was like, that sounds good. And that's how I kind of pivoted again into computer information systems.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's
And
still more to the pivot.
I can't wait to get into it. Okay, so like obviously now you've come to America. Your parents trust you to come to America on your own and do this thing. And obviously they thought you was going to be a doctor as well. So when that initial, okay, I'm switching to computer science came about, what was their reaction?
They weren't too, you know, they just wanted me to be successful.
Right.
They weren't too, you know, the main thing is, you know, get a major and finish your degree.
Right.
And of course, get a job. That's
Right.
the main thing they were thinking about. They weren't too, I don't recall them being too shattered that, you know, he wanted
Very
to go for
accepting
medicine and,
okay.
you know, and then even before I left too, I was doing research and I hear that, you know, medicine was kind of a long process in the United States. So I wasn't 100% sure. It was either going to be that or computer science.
Okay. And then you did the next one into computer information systems.
Right.
Okay, and then I guess kind of within that, along the lines, you then switched over to something else. So you got your master's degree in what?
Oh, my master's degree was in business.
In business.
Yeah.
Just a lot of accolades on my formulary. Oh, formulary. So why did you decide to go for that?
Well, so after I finished my first degree, apparently that was this was after my marriage.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to at least get get this master's thing done with.
Yeah.
First, when I started my college, I went through so many different back and forths.
Okay.
First I was in New Jersey. My family after I left my family.
Yeah.
A year after, my dad, he retired.
Okay.
So after he retired, they got a visiting visa.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, we're coming to America." I'm like, "Oh, that's nice."
Okay.
They all came, and they were like, "This would be a good opportunity for us to settle in America, especially for my younger ones, so that they can
Right.
go to school, graduate, etc., just like I did."
Right.
So, as they did that, he got a job and ended up in Chicago.
Okay.
So I was in New Jersey then,
then
but
you
I
went to
relocated back to Chicago. So we were back again as a family.
As a family.
Yeah. So when we did that, I had I stayed with them, went to school, and I was working, and that was one of the biggest challenges. Working
And going to school.
and going to school.
Yeah.
I couldn't really focus most of the time, tired, and I couldn't really do what I needed to do.
Right.
So distractions here and there, and trying to balance it all.
Yeah.
That took me a while to
learn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, by then I was already growing up too. Like, you're growing up in age.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe there are other opportunities other than college. And I got into working a little bit more, and then I got into different business opportunities. And then that's one of the things where I discovered, like, well, upon all of these, I do need to have, like, a balance and
Yeah.
finish this degree. So
Yeah.
that was the distraction.
Okay.
But the relationship part
Yeah.
that we're going to talk about
Yeah.
is what kind of helped me go back
Wow.
to finish that degree.
Oh my God, are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah.
Wow, no, that's bad. Okay, before we get into that part, how we had realignment, would you say that, because obviously managing stress is definitely one of those things that you have to learn, like
Yeah.
it's a learning curve with that. And entering into something new, there's going to be a lot of stress, and a lot of stress comes with that, right? So you mentioned working, going to school, trying to figure out what you want to do with your life. You're grown now at this point. It's like, okay, even if they're not saying it to you, your family's looking at you like, okay, like, shut up.
When is this going to be done?
When it's going to be done? What are you doing?
When is it gonna be done?
So how did you manage that stress?
It was there.
Yeah.
And I thought, maybe in my head, maybe success will be the answer to all of this.
Okay.
Like, if I do something and I'm successful, maybe they'll get off my case about this whole school thing.
Right.
But then there was another, the pressure that was coming up was my younger ones were growing.
Yeah.
And I can see them, I'm there, like,
Yeah.
tap dancing in college, and I can see they're getting out of high school.
Right, and then they
they're
go to
applying to
the
colleges.
job.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
something, I need to do
okay,
something about this.
okay.
But then I was trying to balance it. Finish
Yeah.
college, do business, get a job, something so that I can be successful. That's what
You're in your head, you were always going to be successful, though.
I always prayed to be successful.
But in your
That's
head.
like in my head.
Yeah.
I always prayed, like,
And what did success look like to you at that point?
success meant not having to worry about anything in life, like,
Right.
especially in terms of finances.
Yeah.
Not have to worry about family. You know,
Right.
growing up and being the first two, I know there's responsibility that comes with that.
Right.
Like, there's different things that's going to be coming. So in my head, I thought, as I'm growing older, some of these things are going to be coming back. So I need to do something with
Right.
ASAP. You know?
Wow. So obviously, you're married to my wonderful auntie.
Blessing from God.
Blessing from God. No, I love you guys. You guys are the most, like, I love you guys. Like,
Oh.
I feel like it's so good for me and my younger siblings to be around family members, like, that love each other, right? Like, we see love. So it's like, I know, like, there's love, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Seeing it in all my aunties and, obviously my parents' relationship, it's like, okay, this is the norm.
Right.
And when I step outside of the norm, I'm like,
This is not right.
what's going on? What's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously there's stages, and I want to talk about that a little bit too. But before that, I do want to get your side of the story of how you guys met. And look, you want to piece it together because she told her version of the story on her episode.
For my part, I'm going to omit some parts, Sha.
You have to be
If it
real.
doesn't, if it
You have to be
doesn't,
real. They love this type of stuff. Put them on game. Let them know. Let them know how to.
what if
bag
there's
them.
no game? But go ahead.
But go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
No, tell us, how did you guys meet? Like from your side of this, the story. What did it look like? What was that journey?
Yeah.
And everything.
I would say, it was more like I prayed and hoped for it,
Okay.
and then God just dropped it in my lap.
Okay.
That's how I'll call it.
How many failed relationships did you have before that point?
Just two.
Just two. Okay.
Yeah, just
okay.
two.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. Though.
Yeah.
No, that's
So it's like, my ex from Nigeria, and then
Yeah.
of course my ex
Here.
from college.
Okay.
So we broke up, and I was already getting over the relationship.
Yeah.
And of course it was that at that time in my age where two things needed to happen. I need to finish my degree, and I need to get somebody that is like my
Serious.
person,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I started looking all around, talking to
Wow.
friends. Some of them they told me go online. I was like, go online.
Back then, go online just sounds a little
Sounded
crazy.
odd. Yeah, go online. So I took a shot and I did.
Okay.
And talked to a few people. But once the thing about me is, as I started talking to them,
Yeah.
there's this thing I was looking for.
And you
the
couldn't find it in them.
I couldn't find it. So it's like, either it's gonna be French, we talk, and then we move on.
Yeah.
But when I found her, it was just, I didn't even know where it was going.
Yeah.
But I knew it was going somewhere. So I
Okay.
saw a picture. I was like, oh, okay, beautiful girl. Let me say something to her.
Okay.
I said, hi, you look hot like fire. Classic examples of lines you should probably not use.
Well, no, because it got you here. So just be yourself and say what you got to say.
And I'm sure she probably saw them and said like, oh, who this dude? But she responded. And thank God.
She didn't say, "Oh, who this dude?" She was like, "This man just texted me. He added me and then he messaged me. What are you talking about?" That's what it was.
So, we exchanged information.
Okay.
And the biggest connection, or the time that I knew that there was something there, was the first time that we talked.
Okay.
So let me break it down in terms of timeline,
Please.
right? It was June, at the end of June, going into the July 4th weekend. And then...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're giving us timeline. Wait, I love this. Okay, I'm tuning in. Tell.
So with the it was June, and so I was doing this while at work, chatting while at work. So I wasn't paying too much attention to it. Like, we talked, but when we talked, there was a good connection.
Yeah.
And I didn't take it that serious.
Yeah.
And you know what? I didn't take it that serious enough because I was going home for the long weekend.
Yeah.
I didn't ask her for a number.
That's crazy.
When I didn't ask her for a number, I went over the weekend, and it was then I realized, like, wow, I miss her.
Oh.
Like, I miss her. And then when I came back again to work, because we already knew when we
Yeah.
talked, I said, oh, I'm going with July 4th weekend. I'm not going to be working. I'll see you when I get back on Tuesday or whatever.
Wait, at this point you were in Chicago or where?
Yeah, I was in Chicago.
Okay, and she was where?
She was in Bonaire.
Bonaire, okay.
Yeah, she was in Bonaire.
Okay.
So we met each other. We I knew she was in Bonaire. I knew she was
Yeah.
studying medicine. She knew about me. She knew that I was taking a break from school.
Yeah.
And the fact too that she was a medical student, that kind of jarred me. Like, whoa, okay,
And get on
you need to
my
wake
thing.
up.
Yeah.
Like, you need to wake up. If you can step to this girl, you need to wake up and get your act right.
Yeah.
So we talked, and then over the weekend I didn't get to talk to her, but it was the Tuesday that I got back. How I knew there was something special was that Tuesday I wanted to get back to work, so
That's
so we
crazy.
can
You talk to
again.
her. Oh my God.
And when we talked, I was like, I missed you.
What? That is so
I was
cute.
like, I missed you. That was how I knew that there was something.
There's something there, and you were like, okay, I'm gonna pursue this seriously.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you were looking for that thing, right? And it's not something, it's inexplicable, essentially, but there are things that you can kind of like list down. Because I feel like everybody usually has a list. What was your list?
My list was someone that gets me.
Okay.
Someone that was beautiful to look at.
Okay.
Because I like to add candy.
So your own thing is face.
Huh?
Your own thing is face.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Beauty.
Beauty.
I love beauty.
I love that.
So that was one of the things I was looking for. Understands me.
Yeah.
And we're striving towards the same
Single,
thing.
yeah.
And if I'm already, because when you're in a relationship, you're attracted to someone, right?
Yeah.
The hope is, I hope they're attracted back to me the same way.
right?
that was a check. So all those things checked, and I was like, this looks.
Did she have to be Nigerian?
Oh yeah. So when I first started about this, my last relationship was not Nigerian.
Okay.
So I wasn't too hard set on it.
Okay.
But after that breakup, and I discovered that, well, this is a pivotal point.
Yeah.
You're probably going to be trying to settle down,
Yeah.
have kids. And of course, my parents were not too fond of my last relationship.
Okay.
I was like, yes, I need to actually make a change.
Right.
And be with a Nigerian because we would even understand ourselves.
Right, right.
And I think that was the best decision I ever made
love
because
that.
that helped me even culturally. as well.
Yeah. Did you feel like when you moved to America, there was obviously there is a culture shock, but did you feel like there was that pressure to kind of assimilate and conform to what your surroundings look like? Because at that point, it definitely wasn't cool to be African, I'm assuming. So obviously you're coming from Niger. It's like, okay, you're not necessarily far because, you know, you're at Jasidia, but, you know, like, obviously it's different. So did you feel like there was that pressure to kind of fit into certain crowds and kind of, you know, conform for you?
When I first came, it was more or less I was focused on working, going to school,
okay.
few friends here and there, and I was with my aunts. So we had that family bond. So I wasn't really too big on, you know, like
Outside
forming
things,
real friendships, etc.
Okay, that's fair. So now at this point, you've met your girl. You guys have been dating. How long did you guys date for?
5 years plus
5 years.
before I even proposed.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? What were you thinking in your head? Like, obviously, like I said, relationships go through different stages. Did you feel pressure from her end? Did you feel pressure from her family? Well, us.
Zero pressure.
That's good.
I felt zero pressure. I felt like our relationship just grew naturally like it's supposed to.
Wow.
Because, you know, there was progression of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
When she first met me, one of the first things that I told her is, I'm into this business and I don't think I need to go back to school no more. You know, I'm gonna make this and I'm not gonna have to go back to school no more.
what did she say?
She's like, oh, well, you know, yes, you will make it, but, you know, maybe
Finish your
try
school.
and finish the school.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest things,
Yeah.
you know, that I love about my wife. The fact that, you know, she's not gonna just shut down an idea. She's gonna see the good parts of it, but also draw me back to reality.
I love that. It's like she grounds you.
Right.
So cute. I love that. Okay, so like now you guys are together, you're dating, and of course, like you go through things. What would you say during this dating? Because you're long distance, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, we did long distance for a while, and then she moved to Chicago. You know, with me, and then
You know, I was in Nigeria this whole time,
That's
so I don't know
true.
nothing about nothing that was going on. I was in a completely different world. Like obviously, the first I known of you was you guys were already engaged at this point. I think so, right?
I think you had already known me before we were engaged.
Did I?
I think so. I don't know.
Because honestly speaking, when we were in Nigeria, I feel like I was so cut off from like my family in America. We barely spoke to them. All I know was, Oko Karijambo.
Right.
And you came, I think you were in Abuja first.
Yes.
And then you came to come and see us for like a bit and you took us out. And at that time, you were Uncle Dan. You were Uncle Busha. You were Uncle Dan. And I was just like, oh my God. So this is love. It was so cute because I just felt like that was such like a big gesture. Like obviously you didn't come to Niger for us, but it's like you made it a point to come and see us and spend time.
Right.
And I was like,
good.
wow.
I still remember that vividly.
I can never forget that. That's a core memory for me. That's a core memory for me. So I wanted to ask, like, what do you think during that dating phase was one of the biggest issues that you guys encountered as a couple?
Biggest issue that we encountered, I would say, is not even first it's two of them. First is us growing up.
Yeah.
You know, and growing up to the point where we're patient enough with each other.
Yeah.
You know, every relationship goes through this.
Yeah.
Whereas like you're still trying to figure each other out, and you know, sometimes I'm naturally strong-headed. I know you don't think it, but yeah, she would tell you behind the door, I'm naturally strong-headed.
It's not that I don't think it. I just think that you're very mature, and also you're a freaking Pisces. Like I feel like you're very good at masking, if that makes sense. Like I feel like it's not fake.
Right.
It's just appropriate for appropriate scenes, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? But obviously, like at the core of it, I still know who you are. It be sneaking out every now and again. I'm like,
Yeah.
I got
So I
you.
feel like, sometimes I'm a little more like, assertive.
Yeah.
Certain things should be done this way,
Yeah.
and she had to grow to understand that with me.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's certain times she couldn't stand me,
Yeah.
but we eventually had to walk through that to the point where, now we're able to, it doesn't mean that even now we don't have fights.
Of
We
course,
have fights.
yeah.
But like, we're able to walk through the fight, even be upset for a little bit, and then eventually just,
Get over
get
it.
over it. Right.
What would you say was like the key thing in learning that though? Because like I feel like that's something that a lot of young couples are still trying to figure out, and some people never figure it out.
Right.
Actually, they never figure it out. So I would say like if you were to give advice to younger you, right? You have the foresight now. You know what things look like and what things should be like. What would you tell that from Shaw?
Be more patient.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm usually more like, I feel like I'm not a type A personality.
Okay.
But I feel like there's some type A to
tendencies.
me.
Yes,
exactly.
I think so too.
So I have to learn that not everybody's like me.
Yeah.
And I have to be patient. And I
Yeah.
believe I try to grow myself every day,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that that's something that is getting. I feel like even myself I'm seeing is better
Yeah.
year after year. I'm getting more and more patient.
Yeah.
The younger me, less patient.
Wow.
The older me, more
More
patient. So I would
patient.
say the key is just being patient, because not everything is going to go to exactly you want.
Right.
Yeah.
And kind of tying that idea of not everything is going to go how you think it's going to go, and bringing it back to like that career aspect of life, right? You've made pivots and stuff like that. What would you say is like a big lesson you learned whilst going through all those changes? Because it's not just re-strategizing, it's also, coming off of that dang, like, it didn't work out. How did you, like, what would you say was like the biggest thing that kind of kept you going? Especially as a business person, I think that's like the biggest one, because we'll have ideas, we'll do business. I feel like that's the key where we click, because I've gone through a lot of business ideas, a lot of thoughts, a lot of big ideas, but it's like, damn, which one are we gonna finally land on, right? And like you always give me advice like when things don't work out, like how I should move and stuff like that. And I want you to kind of share like your personal experience with not getting what it is that you thought you were gonna get when you wanted to get it, and having that zeal to just keep going forward.
Right. And I think that started from the first instance I was talking about computer science.
Okay.
I thought, I was going to come in, do computer science, and be this big computer guru.
Right.
That didn't pan out the way I wanted, so I went to computer information systems. With life's distractions, I didn't even get to do that too, because things got a little rougher.
Yeah.
Classes got harder,
Right.
school, work. So I had to repivot again.
Yeah.
And remember I was telling you when I met my wife,
Yeah.
she encouraged me like I should go back.
Yeah.
So the biggest that was actually a low point, because I had stopped school.
Yeah.
And that meant that I don't remember, like 90 some more credits.
Mm-hmm.
And, we looked at it like, this is just 30 something more or something more to
Yeah.
finish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is not that bad.
Right.
What do I do? But I thought also, I didn't do so well in those classes anyway.
Right.
So how am I going to go back and start this whole joint again,
Over again. Mm-hmm.
So we looked, I had to reapply to the same college again. Find a program that was going to take me, because at that point they take you, right?
Right.
Not like you say I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So marketing,
Wow.
right? That was the one that under the College of Business, marketing, you only have to take so and so classes and finish up your work.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? Let's do this. So I had to pivot, do that again, get it done. And I got my school finished, thank God.
Thank God.
That was the biggest blessing. And thank God for the encouragement of my mom, now
Yeah.
blessed memory, and my wife. Those are people that pushed me like, yeah, it's not that, you got it.
You got
And
it.
Even I still continued working while I was doing it. But, and I had to just stretch, like, this is it. I just have to do this.
You just have to do a conroutry shit, like, close your eyes and just get it done.
And with businesses too, I've tried I've tried a lot of businesses. I've
Yeah.
tried a lot of jobs.
Wow.
I've sold knives. I've done telemarketing.
Wow.
I've
You've done everything.
Almost everything. But I just the thing is, I guess as I'm getting into all these things, I'm learning that as you're doing this, even if this door does not work, it's okay. Another door will work.
Right.
And there's times where you're going to be really disappointed too.
Right.
Like, oh, this is not what I thought.
Yeah.
But then you now start thinking, okay, how do I repivot? How do I go back?
And what is that, like, when you have to sit down and do that pivot and re-strategize, what does that process usually look like for you?
It's more like I'm realizing as I'm going along.
Yeah.
You know, so my life has been like a moving thing. Like, okay, this I'm gonna have to make a pivot here. Like, you know, what do I do? What would be the next thing to do?
Right.
And then I start, you know, turning around, or
Right.
figuring out what the next thing is, and then I transition into it. And that's how I transitioned to the job that I got today too.
I was just about to say that. When did you actually feel like you had your big break? Like, okay, the ball's rolling.
Biggest break was my first job out of college.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was Deloitte.
Well, no, it wasn't Deloitte. It was a company in Chicago.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So after I did the pivot, got my degree.
Mm-hmm.
I got my degree in marketing. The biggest challenge is who's gonna want to hire somebody with marketing. So I'm like, do I do marketing analyst? I was working at a call center then.
Wow.
The call center was pretty decent. I was like, do I want to grow in this job, or do I want to try something else? And then I don't really know. I don't recall how I got into a field that was called business analysis.
Okay.
I'm like, what's this? You know, somebody told me about it. Why don't you try to be a business analyst? They make decent money. So I started doing my research, started talking to people, and that now started the process of applying for jobs.
Right.
So I will go to work, and as I'm working, I will be applying like crazy
Crazy.
to jobs. They even got to a point where I had a book, you know, writing them down, like apply to 10 jobs today, write it out, cross it out, you know, and then I just continued applying.
Wow.
First big break was the interview. You know, I was like, I was able to get an interview.
You landed one finally.
Yeah, because it's like you don't have experience in that field, and somebody's willing to give you a shot.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest break.
Okay.
Yeah. They gave me a shot. The company was in St. Louis. They even asked me to come to St. Louis. I'm like, this is good. And then they gave me a job offer.
Wow.
That was my first big break.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that kind of got the ball rolling in the sense. Yeah.
And
What
then
was
it
her
opened my
reaction?
eyes. Over the moon. I was over the moon. Like, wow, this is my first real job.
Yeah.
You know, I have to go and do
Yeah.
that. And then, you know, the thing that really, to me, at the core of it all is I never settle in one place.
Yes.
You know, as I'm in there and as I'm learning this stuff, I'm hearing that there's more opportunities out there. And actually, I'm already getting people calling me.
Yeah.
And before you know it, I've already stepped on to the next one. Yeah. So, and then that kind of fueled the desire, like, I got to keep going.
Yeah. On to bigger and better. So, like, when it comes to working in professional settings and stuff like that, I guess, what is one tip that you would give to people that are kind of going through that right now and trying to land a job? Like, advice that you would give to them that maybe you wish if you had earlier, you would have been set up a little bit better?
If I had been set up a little bit better, if I had been networking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, that be like
with
networking in
people.
uni?
Yeah,
Okay.
if I had gone through the regular path of college,
Yeah.
did very well. There are certain times I would have gone for an internship. You know, those will have opened doors for me
you
as I was
and
going,
stuff
but
like
I didn't
that.
follow that path.
Right.
So, you know, I would say the biggest thing is just networking.
Okay.
That's the
Because networking is a
only
big
other bit.
thing. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's who you know sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of the time it's who you know.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's actually really, really good. Okay. So we've kind of moved on from that first early stages of things. Now you have decided to become a married man, right? What did that shift from girlfriend, boyfriend to now we are married or getting married? What did that look like for you? What was that like on your end?
On my end,
Yeah.
it was interesting because I say that because we were dating for like 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, and we live together, so we know each other. We don't had it all. Every
Yeah.
type of fight you can imagine. We've grown. So I can even imagine after the wedding, we both said to each other like, "We're married." Like, we're married, but does it feel any different? She's like, no. I was like, yeah, it doesn't.
Right.
Because we've kind of grown into it. We've known each other. But then the biggest thing was now, you know, accepting responsibility and deciding to grow together as a family.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what did that, okay, so when you guys are now deciding who does what, did these values or ideas come from what you've seen in your, you know, respective families, or you just created your own version of what things should look like for you? What did that conversation look? Because I just always imagine, like, how do you have those conversations? Like, where do we start? Who does what? How do we do this? How are we going to balance it?
Right.
And we all have these glamorized ideas based off of social media of what things should look like, but that's not reality.
Right.
And now we want to know, like, what's the real tea? Tell us.
Well, the real tea, I think my parents were a very big influence.
Okay.
And the way I thought about marriage.
Okay.
You know, I always saw my dad as like, he always took care of everything. Like,
Yeah.
"Dude, what do you not take care of?"
Right.
You know, like everything is done, like our school is taken care of. Like, you know, we never lack.
Yeah.
So that kind of instilled in me for my kids, like, you know, and for my wife, like, I'll take care of everything, you know. And then, you know, my mom used to be the traditional mom, you know, helping, but also at the same time, like, you know, go out there, you know, apart from her working, she also was a very big entrepreneurial mind person. I think that's where I got it from. So that's how I kind of, you know, got the idea of. So it's just based off of my parents.
Yeah.
And even life throws certain things at us.
Yeah.
I won't say, you know, because of certain responsibilities or because of the way I think things should be, I won't do it because, you know, life is life.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to step in and help. Except the cooking part. I don't know. I'm not doing that.
But you be in the kitchen sometimes. You be
I
staying in
was before I got married, but somebody pushed me out of the kitchen, so I don't go back in again. But the thing is, you know, I don't shy away from anything.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like with life, we just have to kind of adapt, balance, help out however we can. I won't say that's not my role. I won't do it, you know.
You're
That's
just
how I kinda
like,
developed it.
You see where you can help. And
Yeah.
You do, and you say it's the same thing for her.
Exactly. Anything.
You guys are a team.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, so, oh my God, I can't believe it. Okay. Wrap it. I think the next thing I wanted to get into is that pivot or transition from being we're married into now being parents, because obviously that looks different, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just that. I feel like you guys within your marriage have not only given birth to physical children, you've also given birth to businesses, right? Which are also your babies.
Right.
And I respect you guys so much to see how much you put into it.
Thank
and
you.
how you, like, you know, honor it in every way that you can, networking and everything. So I want to talk about the physical children and then, you know, obviously your businesses as well.
Right.
And how you guys balance it all, because I'm like, you work. And it's not just like you're working at the one job, you're working, right? And then you have this and then you have that. And you have, so how do you balance it, the transition, all of that? Just talk us through it and how it plays out in your head.
Okay, so where should I start from?
Let's start with the kids.
With the kids, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So growing when we decided we want to have kids.
That was a conversation.
No, it was. Yes, it was because
Okay.
you know, there was two parts to it. You know, we wanted. I thought I wanted many kids.
Okay.
Because, like you said, when I came into this family, I saw many kids, and I saw a lot of happiness to
And
me.
love, yeah.
And I said, I want 5 kids.
Yeah.
But you know, after marriage and we decided we wanted kids, I was like, yeah, that's a reality check. I don't think I'll be able to do that. So
Yeah.
we'll first of all when we wanted to wait too.
Okay.
After marriage, we wanted to wait, you know,
Okay.
for I don't know, a couple of years before we started having kids.
Mm-hmm.
But after the marriage, and we discovered or realized that we've been together for many years.
Yeah.
You know, life is not gonna wait. We're pursuing all these goals.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and, you know,
Start having
yeah,
kids.
start having
Okay,
kids. Yeah.
okay.
And then
Oh
we
my
started
God.
planning for it.
And you guys started planning for it. And then obviously we have our beautiful baby Lizzie, who's like grown now.
Grow.
Towering over everyone. And did you ever have in like your head like your perfect idea? Okay, I'm gonna have 2 boys, 2 girls. Like, what did that look like for you in comparison to what you have now?
2 boys. Well, 2 boys and 2 girls, ideally.
Ideally,
But
right?
in reality,
We have 2 boys, 1
the
girl.
way God blessed me, it's
Yeah.
just perfect.
It is perfect.
You know,
That's a
1
good
girl,
setup.
2 boys. Then let
Imagine having 2 Lizzies running around.
Whew. Yeah.
Shout out to her though.
So-
She's a good personality.
Yeah, but that's I guess that's kids as they grow up,
Yeah.
you know, and then learning that girls are completely different from boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, that was actually what I wanted to ask her in her video, but we said we'd do a part 2. For you as a dad, right? What would you say are the biggest differences between being a boy dad and being a girl? Because obviously you was a girl dad first. Between being a girl dad and being a boy dad. And then also, I think like in African households, there's also always that predisposition that you have in your head that, okay, guys love their sons more and da da da. And obviously we don't see that in you guys' household. It doesn't look that way. It looks like it's equal love.
Right.
Is that very intentional? Because I feel like sometimes you just have like a natural keenness to one gender over the other. Like, it's not like you don't love the one any less, but what are the things that you do just to kind of make it look equal and balanced?
That's a good question. What do we do to make it equal and balanced?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we just do, you know.
Okay.
Like we try to meet every kid where they are, and I don't know. I try to balance it really,
Yeah.
because I won't say she's my daughter, and I would not be firm with her when I
Yeah.
need to.
Yeah.
I instantly make that switch, like, you know, emotions out the picture. I'm your dad. Let me.
Yeah.
I would, and then the same for the boys.
Yeah.
I won't be all. I guess even growing up with them, I'm learning too that maybe not all the time expect them to be tough, you know, like boys. You know, kind of understand that they have emotions too,
Yeah.
and kind of balance all of that out. So I
Yeah.
guess that's what kind of plays out to how it's equal, because of how we see them and because of how we try to put on different hats with them.
Right. And they're also all involved in things. Like, I think that from young, you guys have been very intentional about, oh, you're good at this, or you seem to like this. You guys put them in different things. Was that an intentional thing as well, where you're like, okay, we want them to be in everything so they can fall in line? Or do you have an idea in your head of what it is that you want them to look like and you're pushing them in the right direction?
We all have ideas.
Yeah.
But, you know, what I'm learning is you can have ideas from now to tomorrow, but God is gonna guide you
You're right.
to the actual idea.
Right.
So I never shut down anything that the kids show interest in, because I want to try and encourage whatever I can do to
Right.
encourage it. Because who knows?
Right.
What if, you know, my son, you know, is been, you know, into computers, you know, gaming and things like that. But all of a sudden, this summer, he just picked up basketball.
And it's so
I'm like, where did that
cute.
come from?
It's
But
so cute.
I'll encourage it.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? And it's actually thriving and blossoming in it.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever they show, I will try to encourage
Invest
it.
in,
all.
put into that,
Yeah.
and push them towards that direction that they're naturally going towards. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. That's great parenting. We're picking up tips one by one. Oh my God. I would say like the same with our parents as well. Alhamdulillah. I feel like, you know, obviously you guys know me. I'm trying everything out, and I'm just so fortunate to have parents that, and just a support system, you know, the whole family.
Yeah.
Super supportive of everything that I want to do. You guys are like my biggest cheerleaders. It's wonderful. Alhamdulillah, I love our family. But my next question was going to be balancing now being a dad and also being a husband. And you guys find time for each other all the time. At least that's what it looks like. You know, she and I have discussions about it as well. But when was that point that you realized, okay, wait, hold on. Let's take a step back really quick. We're doing too much mommy, daddy, and there's not enough us.
I think that was close to, I think the pandemic is the one that changed
Okay,
everything.
okay.
Yeah. So how it happens is, you know, we all get into the rhythm of life. We got into, we had all our kids then. That was 2019. We had all our kids. And, you know, she was working, I was working, we're going to work, coming back, taking them to school, dropping them off. So we got into the rhythm of life.
Yeah.
And eventually us, you know, not like, thank God there was already a strong connection.
Yeah.
But we felt like the rhythm was already breaking because, you know,
Yeah.
we barely have that much time.
Right.
We hang out in the house, we do stuff when we can.
Yeah.
But we felt like it was already, you know, kind of balancing or going out of balance.
Right, right.
But then I think the pandemic, and that's the biggest blessing. I
Yeah, we
would
talk about
say.
that all the time.
It
yeah.
allowed me to work from home. So I think
Yeah.
that took like 90% of my stress off of going to work and coming back, driving in traffic 2 hours a day, all that stuff. So we were able to be more intentional about spending the time with each other. And I would say, you know, I won't even, let me not even discredit the fact, throughout life, as we were growing up with our kids, for example, when we had our daughter,
Yeah.
we were very intentional.
Yeah.
Like we have to train Lizzie to go to bed and not be in
Yeah.
daddy and mommy's bed.
Yeah.
So like 7, 8, we'll try and get her in routine. Bedtime, that's daddy and mommy hangout time.
Yeah.
So we've always tried to make that time and that
Right.
bond. But the pandemic was more intentional. Like, wow, we have more time to spend with each
Yeah.
other. And I actually have the joy of her being with me in the office.
That's
you know,
so cute.
and so that kind of helped, foster our relationship a little bit more, and then just being intentional about really
about
spending the
those
time with
things,
each other.
yeah.
And we still do it now because life got a little more hectic right now.
Yeah.
And we have to be intentional. Like we keep saying it all the time. We need a date. We need to do something. We need to just.
You guys love good life. First of all, you guys love soft life. You'll be so quick to be like, I think we're due for a vacation, babe. What do you think? Like,
we are.
Angola? No, but I love it. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. That's how life should be. And like we were talking about, now you have a business. Talk us through how you even decided that that's something that you wanted to do. And then also you guys being business partners.
Right.
It's like, how do you separate the two, right? Because like obviously you are partners in everything.
Yeah.
You're partners in life, partners in parenthood, partners in business.
Yep.
Where's the separatism come in? Like to be like, okay, this is office hours, this is hubby hours or wifey hours, because it's like you live together, it's blurred lines, you work together, it's this. How do you balance that?
So when you run a business, the business is constantly on your mind, and that's constantly, like you said, it's your child.
Yeah.
It's like one of the things that it's one of the things you're watching.
First tell us what your business is.
Oh, okay.
Tell the people, you can look at them. What is your business?
All right, so my wife and I run a home healthcare business.
Yeah.
It's called the Interim Healthcare of Prince George's County. What we do is we take care of seniors in the comfort of their home, and we also staff medical facilities across the state of Maryland. And in addition to that, being that I'm an IT project manager, I also have my IT solutions company, and it's called Upscale Business Solutions.
Wow. And he ate that. He ate that up. Like, no, but you did that so well. You're over here talking about something, you're nervous, please. Like, what? There's no shyness here, guys. He came on this episode, he was like, I'm shy.
Well,
please, do you guys see any shyness here? Do you guys see any shyness here? Be real. But you were saying yes. So
how do we balance it? Mm-hmm. Yes. So it's just, I don't know if there is a line or balance like, oh, I need to be husband now. We just put on the hat when the time comes.
Okay.
Yeah. And even me, one of the biggest things that I'm learning as I grow the business is, there's certain things that in my head should be done a certain way. So I'm now learning the maturity and the wisdom to be able to direct people to do it. Because at the end of the day, there's only so much I can do.
Right.
I need help.
Right.
So, it even comes with me and my wife planning, this is what we want to accomplish for the business. This is our next goal. Let's try and see.
Do you guys ever have like, okay, we're doing too much business talk. We need to shut it down really quick. Do you guys ever have those moments where like, okay, I can't right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I do that. I try to do that at the end of my day.
Okay.
Sometimes, at the end of my day, she can come into my office talking to me. I'm like, you know what? I'm done. Let me turn this thing and let's take a walk.
Yeah. Oh.
And then we take a walk, talk about something else completely different.
Yeah.
And then that gets the stress off.
I love that. Yeah. You guys, obviously it's a learning thing, it's a learning process, but you guys seem to have like such a beautiful thing going on, and mashallah, no evil eye here. A beautiful thing going on here, and it's so beautiful to see Black love. And I think I want to end on this note with our discussion, because we have a hard stop.
Well, yeah.
But, showing and expressing love in your home and to your children and stuff like that, I feel like is so important. And I think that, it's so nice for them to see mommy and daddy love each other, right? When you guys, I feel like when you guys are in your setting, do you guys ever think to yourself like, oh, are we doing too much? Do you guys ever think that? Or is everything just they're used to it?
I think they're used to it.
Yeah.
At some point, I remember a conversation I was having with Lizzie. I think she was talking about her friends and being, a friend upsetting her.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, that's natural. Your friends will upset you. People will upset you. Mommy upsets me. I upset her. She gets mad at me. She's like, she gets mad at you. Aren't you two like in love? So I'm like, so it doesn't mean that we don't. It doesn't mean that we can't, have fights.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we've just kind of. They've accepted it, and I think they know.
And that's so beautiful. In their eyes, that's the norm. Like they'll go out into being their own people and their own partners, and they're like, wait. Oh, don't bring that.
Expecting.
Okay?
Exactly.
This is what things are supposed to look. That's so beautiful, and I love that. You guys are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
This is a really, really fun interview, and I feel like I still have so many questions, but y'all be saying the video's too long. So if you guys want to see him again, I think I would love to do like a couples interview.
That would be nice.
I think that would be so nice. If you guys want to see it, let me know, because I would love to do it. I have like ideas in my head, but this has been the end of this episode. Thank you guys so much for staying tuned to the end. Before we completely wrap up, we have to do our honorary OOTD.
Oh,
so you gotta stand up and show us what you're wearing, what you're rocking with.
Okay, rocking with. I just decided to be casual today, because I usually dress up. I'm like, nah, casual. So
No, but this is giving though.
this is just my jeans. What do I say about it? It's just jeans. Just my sneakers, and then I threw on my little T-shirt, and I like my little Jesus chain, my watch, and then my bracelet.
Period. The outfit is given 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. So, anyways, that is the end of our episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. I do appreciate that you guys have been loving our show and loving these episodes and the guests that we've bringing on. But saying it is not enough. I need to see it in the analytics. Y'all need to subscribe to the channel. Y'all need to like the video so that we know it's real, okay? So thank you guys so much for tuning in to the end of the video, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!